looking at Western democracies, what beyond COVID is pushing? What are those pressures that you're seeing from the index?
So for this year, I think the primary pressures in addition to COVID are a lot of the immediate effects of the pandemic. So you have things like the sharp economic contraction, which in many countries was actually sharper than during the 2008-2009 financial crisis. And of course the disruption in delivering public services as a result of trying to manage the pandemic. But I think the key thing is the changes that these countries have seen before this year. If you look back over the past 5 to 10 years. So the UK, for example, which you brought up, has seen many of the same trends, particularly in the group grievance and factionalized elites indicators that the US has seen. And of course, there have been plenty of parallels drawn between those two countries. But similarly, France, as I mentioned, has the Yellow Vest movement, and Spain, the crisis in Catalonia, where I think there's just again, paralleling many of the trends that Neelan talked about with regards to the US, I think there's just some disruption in sort of the relationship between the government or the trust between the government and the people that makes it harder to be able to effectively manage a crisis when one comes as it has this year. Now, if there's something to take away from the way the pandemic has played out across these various countries, it's that decisions made in the past constrain our options in the present. And so too will our choices in the present shape the course of the future. If we opt to pursue short-term gain at the cost of undercutting long-term capacity, that will come due in the future, perhaps in the middle of the inevitable next crisis.